A man with a camcorder is dangerous.
This is a celebration in honor of Grandma and Grandpa's 60 years together, and the family that they have brought into the world, I guess.
Begot.
Anyway, begotten. They have begotten this bunch. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your relatives. So we have asked everybody to share things that they remember, memories that they have of Grandma and Grandpa. And so Doug has something to share. Three more beers and Doug has something to share. Okay, Doug, you're on.
Drink fast.
Lights. Camera.
Action! Reading, Doug. I'm listening.
Do it.
We concocted this poem on the way over here.
Granddad's hard to hear it.
Mindy,
Coming with another
helped
rock.
with this.
Okay, come here, Matt.
Stand up, Doug. We can't hear you.
I don't care. There are so many memories after all these years. Fun-filled moments, laughter and tears. We would jump on the train for the trip to McCall. I cracked my head open with a thunderous fall. In the summer, we biked past the mill to the dock. We skied and we swam down by the rocks. We slid down the shed roof when Grandma said no. We were rushed to the doctor for 12 stitches or so. We rode on the back of Grandpa's big Harley down to the lake in search of the monster called Charlie. In Grandma's kitchen, we were always well fed. Take it easy on the ice cream and the cookies, she said. We raided the pantry of the fruit in the jars, but her pork chow mein was the best by far. I learned to play checkers from Grandpa, the king. From Grandma, how to crochet, which was her thing. In winter, the snow would get 6 feet deep. Snow caves and icicles were memories we keep. Skiing at the mountain, snowmobiling on the lake, admiring the ice sculptures others would make. When visiting McCall, there were fun things to do. We were all very lucky to have grandparents like you.
Oh.
Now, why did we start with that? Should we have I'm not saying anything.
Can you top this?
You can't top that.
That's all of it in a nutshell.
If Joe were here, he would basically say the same things. And Joe has written letters to Mom and Dad about the times on his studio. But they always had food for all the grandkids. And I always get used to that. It's true. Every time we go home, they always have plenty of activities. And I wish Joe was here and Sharon and whoever else is get. One more beer and I'll be gone. Okay, who's next?
I think you just said it all.
Jerry, you're on.
No, very
Well, Joe's here.
And Dan and I started off on the snowmobile, and we didn't get a block, so you stopped.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
We had to turn around and go back, because Dan wasn't old enough to drive a snowmobile.
No,
Was it me who knocked you off into the ditch?
To the Ponderosa State Park is where we headed. On the snowmobile.
Yeah, you and I and Dave and Grandma, and I got to drive, and I knocked Grandma off in the ditch.
Yeah, we had a heart attack.
Mom's yelling, stop, stop! And I stopped and I turned around and I'm going, Grandma.
There you go.
Where'd Grandma go? And one time, Greg was at our house, and Doug was teasing him. I think he gets a little bit of Grandpa from Grandpa. He had him down on the floor, and Greg bit Doug's
Greg was
nose.
about 2 or 3. He was really
Yeah,
little.
he got a hold of Doug's nose.
And he wouldn't let go.
And he wouldn't let go.
And Grandma had to come save me because I couldn't get him off. Had holes on both sides of my nose.
Then Greg got up, and he was mad, and he went over and
Kicked the wall.
He could have found a better road.
But I knew enough not to mess with a 2-year-old. In fact, speaking of 2-year-old, I think Grandpa, I was about as big as Bobby here. And we pulled up to your house one Christmas, and I think you picked me up out of the car and threw me in the snowbank.
It disappeared.
And Dan looked up and said, "Don't do that again."
Watch this.
I still remember beating Grandpa in checkers once.
By myself.
Can I take it and I'll give you another one?
Time.
Could you take it and I'll give you another one? I could just hold
He
it.
did.
Focus it.
He said he did.
He just didn't have
It's already gone, just hold it. I'll give you another
Okay,
one.
Jack.
I think Doug pretty well covered it all.
No, these are our memories. Now, what are yours?
They're all the same. Everybody did the same thing.
Mine left about 2 beers ago.
Oh, you cheater.
I guess what I remember most is the snowmobiling, the water skiing in the summer.
All the food.
Yeah, always food.
And I remember about Jerry was in the service and the 3 children was living with us and me. And they made took just an old wire fence-like thing
Oh, I hate hearing about this.
and made a playpen for Jet to stay outside in.
At night, or I want to hear this story.
That could be run away.
My brother-in-law, and he'd walk across to our house. There would be Jet. He was crying with a little leaf, holding the leaf and crying into it. So Uncle Floyd would take him out of the playpen. Thank you, Grandma, Grandma, Grandma.
Now, if Dave was here, he could remember when he tried water skiing that first time, and they said, "Don't let go of the rope, whatever you do." So the water skis and him went down, but he wouldn't let go of that.
Yeah, he was like a...
Then we're going,
Right.
"Let
Let go of those ropes.
don't let go."
All the kids. I know
Everybody learned to water ski at Fayette.
Yeah.
That old red fish boat.
The red fin, yeah.
That old motor must have had 1,000,000 hours.
But I tell you, we enjoyed our trips and our grandkids coming home. Very nice. There was always lots to do, lots of food. One time, Granddad and Fern and Fern and Sharon taking a vacation. So I'd taken mine and kept the kids.
All of us at once half the time. I remember Jet and Joe and Sherry, everybody would be there.
Plus you were working full time.
I remember going there for the summer.
Vacation I ever had.
I remember when Dave and I would go there and spend time with you, and you'd give us your library card, and we'd walk down to the library and get books, and walk to the store and buy pin-cent candy, gobs of it.
One time they were all Christmas, I think it was, or Thanksgiving. Of course, we had leftovers, you know how we all do. And one evening, Dan said, I'm going to, it wasn't McDonald's, but he was tired of leftovers, so he took some money and went down to
That hamburger place right there.
Oh, that's Cherry
drive-in
Coke.
down by
Cherry
the
Cokes at that drive-in.
railroad.
Beefy. He remembers the name of it. The Red Steer. That was it. I worked there.
Yeah, Sherry and Jerry lived in
Mommy,
McCall, and
I'm
Sherry.
trying to get a new lock.
Did you have all 3 of them? You had 2 of them. You had Joe and
Yeah,
Sherry.
just Joe and Terry.
Jet lived with his mom. Sherry went to school. Joe and Sherry went to school in the fall. We enjoyed it.
And Greg would talk about the time when he would get out of school and you had your McCall or your Pollock cabin. And before he would ever go home, he would come by their place first to get to the
Yeah,
snack.
we go up on a hill. Greg would get off of the bus and come down along the side of the hill because he knew Grandma had goodies when he got to our cabin.
Doug was talking about the room upstairs, the attic.
That place scared me to death.
Me too. That's what I was talking about.
Where the stairway would go up.
I remember Yvette and I, we got to stay together in the room downstairs. And there was that closet that wouldn't close.
One morning I went down and there was a number 2 can of peaches. You know, the peaches said they opened the other one over there.
I like to stay downstairs because I
Go out that one window, side of the wall, get out of the house that way, middle of the night. Had old Vern, or not Vern, but Dave Myers. He brought me home one night. He actually brought me in to that bedroom, put me in the bed. New Year's, he caught me crawling through a snowbank with nothing on but a pair of britches. Guzzled a bunch of wine. He never woke up, Grandma and Grandpa. Brought me in through the basement, put me in there.
I remember when I was real young looking forward to those movies you had.
Yeah.
Projector. Then I remember when I was a little bit older, hoping they weren't going to show those movies on that projector.
They still got a bunch of those movies.
We're trying to get them put together on a tape so they can...
We should have brought them right now.
Yeah.
We should bring them every year.
Nancy's not on it, so she's safe.
Everybody, Here, this is what you were like 20 years ago.
20.
It's almost 30 now.
30 years ago, then.
Well, I turned 30, so it hasn't
Yeah,
at least that many.
I'm only 20. Do you believe that?
I said, I don't think there's a Christmas past.
I don't drink beer, so I don't think I'll ever believe that one.
We always made it.
You always say
About
it would be so bitter cold sometimes.
I've heard those
We
stories.
just drive across that Nevada desert.
Yeah, down working in the Tan Ranch,
You know, yeah, trapping for the government.
traveling for the government. Horrible weather sometimes.
I want to hear it.
You remember? You remember how you killed the bear?
Well, somebody who knows it better tell it. I don't know if I've heard it.
I want to hear it.
okay, Fern, refresh his memory.
Mother knows.
Can you come over and buy us some?
He was out hunting.
You know what?
Had gone for deer hunting. And he come on to this little cub that was up in the tree. And the mother and the other little cub had run. So he shot this little cub out of the tree, and after he done it, he felt so bad. Because he just cried.
Well, he just crying like a little kid.
Oh, he was just sick about it. But he knew he'd better get that bear out of there before the old mama bear come back. Yeah.
But she never come back.
Wasn't it, Grandpa, wasn't it Dad who tried to shoot the heel off your boot when you took him hunting?
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't?
30-30 went off. He was carrying it. And then...
I remember it.
You always said you'd never let him walk behind you hunting again.
And then he taken Sharon hunting with him. And she was carrying the 30-30, and it was across here, and she was wiggling and wobbling.
You changed your will after that, didn't you?
But he didn't go off. He got her in front of him.
He'd already learned.
Yeah. Grandma and Grandpa had a tremendous amount of patience, I think.
I remember one time
I
Dad
think
took
so
me
too.
hunting. I had BB gun. And you know how you put 15 or 20 BBs in the BB gun, you know, and it'd roll, put the barrel down, it'd roll down, it'd roll back. We trying to sneak up on them deer, you know, and every time I'd see something move, I'd throw that BB gun up, and them BBs would roll. Boy, and out in the woods, it sounded like, you know, the shotgun going off.
Thunder.
Dad said they roll one more time, I'll wrap that BB gun around your head. He finally reached back and just took the end out and dumped all the BBs out.
In other words, they learned patience. It took them a while.
Right. He wasn't old enough to carry guns.
No, I remembered. I must have been 7, 8 years old.
Yeah, you were very old with that.
But we got a big old buck. I'll never forget it. We laid down and seen this old buck walking way up on the deer tick. Please. You know them won't stay on you. I carried a lot of bobcat out. Boy, them pleased to be all over, you know, as long as you got that bobcat over your shoulder. The minute you get back to camp and throw the bobcat down, just stand there for a few minutes, all them fleas will leave you. They won't stay on human beings. They'll go right, they'll stay on animals. They won't stay on humans.
Come here with Grandma.
Oh, Lily, come on. No problem.
What?
What?
Too many.
Yeah, that's a question.
Well, we never did live too close to Dennis and Sherry, so we're there too.
Well, Mabel, I've heard all the stories from Sherry, and I've got to admit, she has some very fond memories of you and John. I can remember that quite plain. She used to tell me quite a few stories about y'all. You're always kind to your grandchildren and generous with them too.
Well, we love those.
They were willing to take me in for 4 years of college.
Leave me a beer. Budweiser.
They had the room ready, and I blew it.
With a little help.
Yeah.
It's not your perfection.
Oh.
I don't know about a blow it is the right word.
No, I blew college. I blew.
He's okay.
She's real good.
Yeah, he's okay.
No, I blew the college plan. In fact, after that, Grandma, I got a letter from the college asking why I wasn't going to enroll. And I wrote back and I said, I got married and I'm going to be having a baby, so I can't go to college.
I remember going arrowhead hunting with you guys, mushroom hunting. Yeah. I don't know where the arrowheads ever went to.
Couldn't find them ever again.
I
probably got 50 of them. There's 3 for $1 on the reservation.
You ruined my whole ideas. I'm out there crawling through rocks.
Buy them.
Like Easter eggs.
Take them out
And it
there
was
and throw
kind of
them out.
strange that he was going, oh, look over that way.
I'd do it at time of fall, throw them out in the backyard, you know, and the kids out there, oh, look what I did! Hey, it makes their day.
I think it was Jerry that threatened to cut the kids' ears off, wasn't it?
No,
break
that
their
Or
arm.
break their arm.
But he,
Lyle cut the ears off because they had apricots.
In the jar.
He had apricots in the jars. He said, those kids' ears. And he said, shake my pinky and cut them off and dry.
We always like going to Jerry's cabin up there on the hill because those pictures on the walls were, Dan and I love that. Going to Jerry's.
Mother and I would try to get in first and hang a hanky over your
We're
calendar.
going to Jerry's.
Yeah, as soon as I won the mountain, we had to walk along that trail.
Dave almost
I
fell off.
think that's where I got my phobia from, was walking up that cabin, looking down that hill and thinking I was going to fall.
Jerry and his friends would get down on French Street, and they asked us to come down and see them. So we got there before they were fishing.
Yeah, that's Boyd's car.
So they had a play on those pinnacles on their trailer inside.
Yeah, I had to be Boyd's car.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was.
taking a Kleenex and that covered them lady. It was all covered up when they took them in.
Ronnie,
Who was that?
Boyd was so into it.
What house did we go to out there in the country that had the stacks and stacks of
Don
donuts?
and Ned Rush.
Don and Ned.
I wonder why they wanted to go over there all the time.
He had just stacks of them in there.
You never saw those at our house.
No.
I seen Nedrick about 3 weeks ago. She weighs approximately 300 pounds.
Oh my goodness. She's still as loud as ever?
Oh yeah, just as loud. But I mean, she has put on so much weight, it's unreal.
She's up there right near you.
She lives in Seattle.
Right now. She's going, I don't weigh that much, Jet.
She lives up there right near you.
Hey, Jet, he don't need to put that right in the middle of that
No,
trail.
no.
Put it back over there where it was.
No.
Put it back where it was.
Well, Dad, did you write something?
Did I write something? I just wrote down about, actually one of the stories I wrote down was when you guys came out to visit us in Astoria. You know, when we'd heard all the stories about Grandpa hunting and knew he was an outdoorsman, so we talked him into walking to the Espa with us through the woods. We got lost, of course. You know, Grandpa trusted us to know where we were going.
Grandpa thought he knew the way, too. He goes,
I don't know how long it took us to get out and find our way out of the woods.
Oh, Grandpa was giving it to us, too. You guys don't even know where you're going, do you? Where are we going? It's right up here, I'm sure of it. Oh, yeah, I bet it is.
You could have ended out in Napa Swenson.
I remember going once and he said, Grandpa said he knew how to get there. He goes, now I know where we're going, I know how to get there.
He's been through that forest so much with us.
He got lost, though.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. You know, he didn't think much of his grandkids. I'm going to tell you a story about his own kids. We're going into a hunting camp one night, and I mean it was dark. We're packing in. We got 3 pack mules. Dad's leading this. And I think... No.
Al Baker.
Al Baker. I think it was his horse. We had 1 horse, I think. But anyway, I'm following along.
We'll give me another one of these.
You know, and I'm about 7, 8 years old. I don't know. I wasn't very old, but it was dark, and I'm scared because all these animals, you know. And I'm back here behind these horses, and they kept telling me, you got to stay back there in case something breaks loose. Well, all of a sudden, a cougar screamed, just about that far from me. I don't know how far he was.
5 miles.
Feel like I was that close.
I took off running by these horses to get up to where Dad and all, you know, where the big people was, and this old mare kicked me right square in the belly. And off the bank I went. And of course, knocked all the air out of me. I couldn't say nothing. You know, I was trying to breathe, and it just kept going. And of course, that cougar was coming off that mountain. Boy, you talk about one scared kid. I'll never forget that. I'm trying to scream at him to wait. You know, I'm trying to crawl at the bank, and I didn't have no air. I finally got up that bank and got down to camp. And they thought it was funny.
He still does.
It's funny right now. It's still funny.
Well, I just knew that cougar had it.
That was Big Creek.
It's still funny.
Yeah, and that little trail's about that narrow, you know, right straight up on this side and straight down on that side. That old mare kicked me and down over the bank I went. Oh, boy, it wasn't funny.
It's funny now.
If that'd been one of my kids down there, it'd have been funny.
Yeah, no doubt of that.
Yep, no doubt about that.
It was funny the next day though when Dad got lost. Old Al Baker and I sitting there in camp. About 10 hours later, Dad come wandering down the mountain. You know, we knew he was lost. He finally found the camp. Then it was fun. Every time he went out.
I should have known this ahead of time.
He was never lost. He just confused for a while.
Christopher.
He just couldn't find his way for a little while.
Go close the cooler.
Take it off on their snowmobile in the fall. But they did not find them, so they were gone. But John decided, you know, everybody was out looking for them. So deep. So John said, well, I'm going on my snowmobile to find them. So on his snowmobile. He made it out, but he said, I was lost for a long time. Remember that?
No.
Forget
He ain't admitting to it anyway.
Remember Michelle took me up that ski hill one time with those old skis, brought me down through the trees, and she left me. I mean, I was up there, my ski had broken, my binding, so I'm walking down about 3 feet of snow, lost, getting dark. I was so scared. You had the cat come up and get me. I was so mad at Michelle I wouldn't even ride home with her.
She probably would laugh about it. She'd laugh about it. I remember when we were little that Grandpa, well, he worked on the railroad, and he befriended anybody and everybody. It didn't matter. He heard all their stories and believed them. And would somehow these people always found their way to our door, and they always came, you know, needing food, and so Mom would feed them. But I didn't bring them in. Never let them eat them on the porch. Daddy befriended anybody and everybody. One time he brought people home, didn't he? He picked them up. They were hitchhiking. Well, 3 boys. They had escaped from the juvenile.
Oh, God.
Home well, the boys here somewhere, and we were going home. And we stopped. They had a dog with them. And we stopped and picked them up and took them on, and they were really hungry. So I said, well, I'll feed you boys, and then I'll call the police, you know, because we had heard that they were missing, had escaped. And we'll call the police, and the neighbors pulled on us. And the poor little kids didn't even get to eat. The police was there. Came and took the boys. But the neighbors seen us unload them, those boys, with their, do you remember that? They was coming across the field, and the cutoff was in the mother and dad. And we picked up these 3 boys and their dog. And then one time we had a young man that our kids grew up with. And so they were eating, and I went to telephone. I called Lyle, which is Mindy's granddad. He lived across the street, across town. And I said, Lyle, come over here. So Lyle came over, and Lyle and those boys sat out in the front yard. And I was so upset because I didn't call the police. This one kid said, let me call my dad. So I talked to his dad and Nab, and he said, well, hold the boys, and I'll be up after them. They came and got him. Of course, he turned him over.
Whatever happened?
But it was a scary situation.
Yeah. What?
He's in jail. He's in prison.
Is he still in there? Who?
Well,
Jim Quirk.
Jim Quirk. Yes, you know, he and his wife split up, and he got the kids, and he left his little daughter for years.
What?
And then
Young Jim.
that's young Jim.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Get back there. Get back.